just a quick word before. If you don't understand all the words on this slide, don't worry. I will explain what all of that means, including the word tontine. But I'm hoping Ethereum and peer-to-peer you already knew. But the rest I will get into. First, let me start with who am I? I'm a consultant at HBA Consulting. And I also do business development for our Blocksurance brand. I hold an MBA from the Asian Institute of Technology as well as a BA in business psychology, so I'm probably one of the few people in the room without a formal technical background. My road into the crypto and blockchain started in 2013 when I very unsuccessfully tried to mine Bitcoin on a laptop because I had free electricity in my student dorm. And I got heavily involved in blockchain cryptocurrency in 2017 with my decision at the end of 2017 that this is the space I want to work in full time. And I joined HBA Consulting in 2018. So, who's HBA Consulting? We are an 18-year-old boutique management consulting company who consults mainly German life insurance companies and pension funds and other specialized players in the German insurance market. Our projects include actuary consulting as well as IT data migration. There probably isn't one big IT data migration in the German insurance markets we haven't been a part of in the last 18 years. So we're very much combining the knowledge about technical systems inside of insurance companies with a deep knowledge of how insurance products, how insurance companies work. So the first word on my title is Blocksurance. What is Blocksurance? Quoting my CEO here, Blocksurance represents the idea of combining insurance expertise with blockchain technology. So what we really wanted to do, not coming from the tech startup side, because we're not a technology company, we're a consultancy, and we're not a startup. We're 18 years old and have 50 employees and revenue of, I don't know, 8 million or something. So we really wanted to take this in-depth knowledge about insurance companies we have, because if you do data migration, like every piece of data this company has, you touch. So we have a really deep understanding of insurance companies, and we combine that with our technical knowledge we built up of the blockchain technology. And then, and I promise, this is the last of like marketing slides. After that, it gets a bit more interactive. We asked ourselves, okay, with this concept of Blocksurance, what could we build? And then the answer was, yeah, a collaborative insurance product. That sounds good because DLT or blockchain allows us to build collaborative products. So we thought about a community fund, that's what we call it, as a fully automated open pension tontine. Again, all the words, especially the word tontine, I will explain, don't worry. For those coming more from the insurance side, probably the phrase shifting the longevity risk to the collective makes sense. For all the other people, I'm getting to that. And yeah, then we choose the Ethereum network because it gives us the ability to do fully automated stuff, fully transparent stuff. And our sales point was that every user can audit the insurance contract, something you probably can't even do, even if your insurance company sends you all the documents and all the things, because it's pretty intransparent. So we saw an opportunity to provide a completely new type of product. Even after having heard all the products today, we still believe we do have something a bit new because it's a pension insurance and it's not parametrical. So I think maybe it's something actually really new. So again, that was more or less the last marketing slide. But question to the audience, have you heard of a tontine before? 1, 2, oh wow, okay. You could have heard it from this series, and if you know that, that's MASH, where they have a famous episode where, like, if the last group of friends has only one survivor, they get the bottle of whiskey. You could have heard it from The Simpsons, where they have a similar concept where Mr. Burns tries to kill the grandfather, I think, because they both also in a military platoon paid into it. Maybe now a few more people remember it. Or you could have known it from a paper called The Simple Analytics of a Pooled Annuity Fund. If you've known it from that source, we should talk after, I might have a job for you. Okay, but let's go down to layman terms. What is a tontine? It's a collective fund with a shared goal and desired longevity. So a group comes together, shares some funds, agree on a goal, and believe, okay, this is not a one-off thing. We're not pooling our resources to get a drink. No, we're doing something that has a large time horizon. That's it in layman terms. No need to understand complex insurance products. That's it in layman terms. Typically, when they pay into the share pool, at this point, they agree on a set of rules they set themselves. And historically, there were 3 flavors that existed of that. The first flavor was the investment tontine. So we have a specific project in mind. Historically speaking, often it was a dam or a canal, especially here in the Netherlands. Many of the canals were paid for by tontines or a war effort. Usually how it works then, okay, you collect the payments from everybody, and as long as the holder of that investment is still alive and the project is still generating funds, you pay the return on invest out to all the people who paid into the canal tontine. Then the life insurance tontine existed, which is based on a payment upon death for the relatives of the holder of the tontine. And usually, due to the long time those tontines run, they have a lot of accrued interest, and tontines always finish their money. They always end when they fall to 0. So if it's a life insurance tontine, it can get to the fact that the last person gets quite a lot, because there is still a lot left over in the tontine that hasn't been claimed or so it falls to the last person, which explains why in The Simpsons they constructed this conflict about, oh, I have the moral hazard, if I kill you now, I get a pension payout. And the third one is the pension tontine, which we're going to talk about today a bit, because we built one, where we have an ongoing payment, so you get a monthly or yearly pension, which is based on the remaining capital stock that the tontine holds and who is still alive, so who is still receiving payments from it. Okay, now you think, wait, like my private pension insurance or even my government pension insurance does the same thing, gives me monthly payments. Yeah, it's a bit different, because if you have a private pension product, I'm using the example of private here because governmental pension insurance in Germany works very differently. And to be honest, I know the most about the German insurance market and not so much about the Dutch, where we are here. So in a private pension product, you have a guaranteed minimum. So you have agreed upon with the insurance company, you get, I don't know, 150 euros, 1,500 euros every month. And then if the investments that your insurance company made or the cost savings they made with the new technology are great enough, they add that on top. But you have that guaranteed amount. No matter what happens, you will always get that. In a pension tontine, you do not have that. There is no guarantee, because it can only work with the money that it contains. So if the interest rate is high, and maybe a few people died early, your pension might increase, might get more. Or if the interest rate was low and more people are living than your mathematical model calculated in the beginning, your pension amount might decrease, because there is no insurance company in the background that has to put money in for the guarantee. Because that's what we see with the private pension products often. Like the interest rate the insurance company gets at the market is lower what they need to guarantee, so they have to substitute that. That's actually creating quite a big loss for some insurance companies. Also, there are differences in the investment strategy. An insurance company has to have a quite careful investment policy, as they have to always meet those guarantees, because otherwise they have to substitute. Also, there's regulatory. And in a pension tontine, if we agree on a set of super aggressive risk-taking, we're free to do that. We are the only ones suffering the consequences for that. Which means the risk management for the insurance company or the private pension product is rather complex, where in the pension tontine, not so much. And now, to be honest, the market situation is that guaranteed pensions are incredibly popular in Germany, and the pension tontine, to put it nicely, internationally, they're widely available. But now, let us start one. Like, why not? from all we just heard now, we just need a group of people that pay some money into a fund and agree on some rules. So we can build one. And now I'm actually going to walk you through that and always then put in, okay, which criteria did we choose with our product, but we can build one together. Let's build the D1Conf community fund. Let's agree on the rules, everybody chips in 10 euros, and we're not looking about death, but conference attendance, so everybody who comes to the next conference gets a share of the profits we made during the 2 conferences, and then we buy drinks from it or something. That would be a tontine, we could build that. So what technically do we need to build that, to build our own D1Conf tontine? Okay, first of all, we need a bit of math, because obviously, if we have a complex thing like a pension where probabilities of death, of sickness come into play, you need an actuary, you need math. We have now written 2 academic works on how a tontine could work, given our circumstances. So my colleagues gave me quite a lot on this. Don't worry, I understand it's for 4:30 in the afternoon. I brought you 1 slide with maths to explain it. I hope that buys me some goodwill. Okay, what else do we need? Obviously, this is an Ethereum-based conference, so we are going to put those rules in a smart contract. So we would need a smart contract that tracks, okay, who attended this year, who attends next year. What also do we need? We need passage of time, because obviously it's a term-based product, a longevity product. So either we need to wait till the next conference or the next month till the pension gets paid out. In our product, we need proof of life. So you have to prove that you're alive to receive a pension. That's probably someone, like every one of you knows this, that at a certain age you have to prove you're still alive in order to receive benefits. In our conference tontine, you just need the ticket for the next conference or something like that. And obviously we want some kind of front end, because like reading raw chain data, yeah, nobody really wants to do that, let's be honest. And wouldn't it be nice if we can take a vote on how the money is invested in the meantime? That is optional, we can just have lying around, but maybe we want to do this community thing here. So yeah, now we need 7 things. 6 things. Okay, so what have we done? We calculate the first pension by just taking the investment that is in the tontine and divide it by your personal amount you're getting. This AX can be calculated in many ways depending on the rules you set. Easiest rule would be if everybody pays in the same, they have the same share. And then in the next year, okay, we maybe need to adjust it, because in the first year it's pretty easy. Everybody is alive, everybody gets their pension. But then, okay, we have to do a bit of math. Again, this is 1 slide. We have to adjust for the actual mortality, because in the next year or the next 10 years in a pension, we have to really look, okay, who is still alive, reading who is still eligible for a pension. And then we have to adjust that. When we normally calculate a pension product, you use those big tables, like what is the probability of someone being alive at the age of 78. In a tontine, then, we now adjust for the actual real number, not the calculated number. And of course, we should adjust the pension on an interest rate that we earned in the meantime. Sadly, this can be lower than 1. So this would, with these 2 formulas, we have our pension at the start and our pension the next year. For our community fund, the math probably can be a bit easier. Maybe we get in the factor of like, okay, of the number of conferences you attended, you get a bonus or something. But some math we need. Then we need to put that into a smart contract. Again, we did it with a few smart contracts. I have not the technical training to explain to you people what it lives where and which bits of code live where, but I'm sure you get the drift. We have a main controller, we have the calculations, the collective, and the insurance contract, and they all share a storage. Basic IT architecture. If you have questions about the code, we can talk later, but just to show you, it is rather simple, we can build that. And I'm sure for the D1 conference tontine, sure there are enough people in the audience who can write up some code for that. What do we need next? We obviously need passage of time. This is particularly easy. We just wait. Nothing here. It's just waiting. And now, 1 year has passed, and you all want to receive your pension, or in our example, your drink voucher. If it's a pension, you usually have to submit some kind of life certificate, or Lebensnachweis, as it's called in the German Beamtendeutsch. Can be done in numerous ways. This is how the Bank of India does it. This is how the city of Munich does it. Someone with authority stamps a piece of paper. How will we do it? Probably with a signature of a private key, I would assume. Okay, I said, what else do we need? Front end. Okay, I don't know how the one for the conference one would look like, but I can tell you how ours looks like, because all what I was explaining now, we actually built that. It's not a theoretical thing, we're actually finished with that. So we have your data of the insured person, you have your overview of your contract, you see how many people have paid in. Right now our Tontine has 7 people and totaling around about 7 Ethereum. And if you want to pay in new, you have to tell us when you are born and how much Ether you would like to invest. And lastly, we said, okay, maybe we want to have some kind of voting mechanism. Pretty like the most basic one, you have 4 cryptocurrencies to choose from, and your vote is based on the share of the money in the Tontine that you paid in. And then you click on vote, and then you have voted with an Ethereum transaction. And this is how, in very layman terms, a Tontine works, and how it can be built on Ethereum, because you only need those few things. Happy to take questions about that. Yes, in the back, please.
I was wondering, what's the difference between this and a DAO?
Well, this is an insurance product that is recognized as an insurance product, but obviously, if we use the term DAO broadly, the collective that comes together and makes the decision about the rules can be classified as a DAO, but this could also be deployed by an insurance company who sets the rules monolithically. So this can be set up as a DAO, I would argue. But my clients are insurance companies, so you see my kind of conflict of interest here. Yes, please.
Yes, thanks. I have more or less the same question, but not as a DAO, but isn't it probably also equivalent to a decentralized investment structure? Or to put the question in another way, you were talking about the interest rate, yeah? As of course, otherwise it wouldn't make much sense. Before you said for the insurance companies, it's a difficult times because there's, let's say, more or less negative interest rate. Yep. So to make, let's say, a mass adoption product, would you say it is, because if you just invest into cryptocurrencies, you've got the volatility of the markets. Absolutely. But maybe you would also address like staking investments or let's say other return enhancing elements. Okay. Great question. Let me start with the end of your question about the interest rate and the investing. The simplest investment strategy would be we just go long on Ethereum and do nothing with the money and just leave it sitting in the smart contract. The most complicated version would be we get via DAO, we appoint an active management team that can buy on and off-chain things. That would be the most complex. The reality will probably somewhere in the middle. We just heard how Nexus Mutual uses their money and moves it around. Why not ask some people like those if they offer third-party fund administration? So we say, okay, our Tontine, the rules we agreed on is that our funds are managed by Nexus Mutual. That will work. I mean, many smaller German insurance companies actually don't manage their assets themselves, but rather get providers for that. So our Tontine could do that. Or we do it like the rather DAO way. The members of the Tontine can vote in which, if they want to invest with ARV, with Lend, with DeFi, staking, whatever.
all of that is possible, I believe. In the end, you always have to keep in mind, you don't want to make it so complicated that every member has to vote like 3 times a month. You want to keep regulatory in mind. But I'm sure there can be a solution found. I think there can actually be more than one solution found, because if I'm the type of investor who wants, like, leave me alone for 20 years, there will be a product for you. And if you're the person who says, like, oh no, I want to go do monthly community voting on investments, we can also build a product for you, I believe. With your question, what's the difference between an investment product and an insurance product? Well, that's a bit of a religious question, to be honest, because this harsh legal separation between capital markets and insurance markets, it's a German thing. I come from a German-based company with German-based clients. There we have this very strict separation. In the US, you find stuff like annuity pools that are used for both active investment as well as pensions, because they do not have this harsh separation. We have based it on an insurance product because A, the Tontine is originally suggested as a pension plan. This is the branch we know about, and the Tontine is legal in Germany as part of a company's pension plan, BAV. It has been, like, not legalized, but it has been explained, the Betriebsrentenstärkungsgesetz, so now there it could be implemented. Now there we see an actual regulatory opportunity for this kind of product. So this is why we built it from an insurance perspective. I'm sure someone could build it and brand it as investment. Sure about that. Yes, please.
How would you implement proof of life on chain?
Well, the easiest one would be you get like some kind of authority that everyone in the original rules agrees on, and they set you alive. This is what current insurance companies do. They tell you you can go to your local government office or your embassy or your church or something, and if they sign that piece of paper I showed you, then we accept it. That would be the most probably easiest way to implement, but that relies on a centralized player. I would argue that decentralized approaches could be found, like you have to post a picture somewhere, put the hash value of the picture where you hold up today's newspaper and your passport in a transaction you sign, and then if 60 or 65% of the members of the Tontine agree that this is a valid proof of life, you're counted as alive. I'm just improvising that, but that would probably work as some kind of decentralized proof of life. But if you have a better concept, on the next slide there's my business card. Please do get in touch. Okay, yeah then, quickly, there's my business card. Get in touch if you want. Grab me later downstairs or something, or add me on LinkedIn or something like that. Thank you very much.